So like now, it's I'm a little scared
You do?
of our own behavior.
I'm asking you, they just come up and get a couple people and break it up.
Nuts.
They won't go that far. I tried, you better believe I tried.
I didn't know whether down over the hill, down in there,
down there,
do some stuff and just let it go.
That when it gets, when it gets cold.
Yeah,
Hard to find fish.
yeah.
So what you do then?
One thing I didn't know, the hedge apples, I didn't know they ate them.
I never ate one. Thrown a lot of them.
You know, part of me looks forward to it.
I know when cattle and horses eat them, they get stuck in the wrong place.
Do they?
Yeah, man.
I would cut them in half and put them in a coffee can and set them around the basement.
They do, that does work.
It does work.
How do we fill up
I had awful
spare
spiders out
time?
in my shed out there, and I put some of those hedge apples,
Well,
set them around in there.
I don't think
And
my
I mean, it
mom is
works.
going
It
through that
does
right
work.
now because
I put it,
I'm gone.
put
He's
them around
gone.
the house.
I never cut them in half, but you cut them in half and put them in
My
a
sister's
can.
gone, and so she just gets a head start.
Yeah.
Texts us and
But
calls us. asks
it's
us
just
to
the
come
gas
over.
coming on when it starts, something.
Hey, Jim.
Good.
How you doing, man? All right.
All season's getting ready. I'm getting nervous. My grandson's coaching 7th grade football. Just got married.
At least it's not too cold, I guess that's good.
I had the biggest list.
Yeah.
Whether we did or didn't.
We were out Halloween, we were about 30, we were about 30 minutes, the kids like, we're ready to go home, like, good.
This,
Yeah, we went about 2 blocks and it was done. I was like, good. Yeah. Yeah.
if Michael doesn't, I will use it.
He's got to go to
I'm not looking forward to it.
He can start on the
I think it's gonna be too.
So they,
7th grader, huh?
that's all we
What's his name? Joe? The coach. What the hell is the high school varsity coach?
Oh,
John,
John, the coach with us.
yeah.
We also.
Blackwell, Sean Blackwell.
This thing was part of the corner.
I've heard a little bit more.
It's amazing how much is in there and how hard it is to get it out in it. It's in there.
Yeah.
I just think it's crammed in there so tight you can't get them out.
There's something new that's going
I
on.
think mine's just going blank.
I don't know, sometimes I wonder the same thing, Paul.
Is there something else going on?
Yeah, that could be just, that happens.
I think this is for that building.
That has-
I think that's for this, fire protection building, looks
What kind of
like.
food you guys gonna have?
It's Tim Cummins.
Yeah.
He just left our frame film and stuff.
Yeah.
You guys really work with it.
They own that building over there, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't really have.
Getting there.
Yeah.
I can show you.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you doing today?
Here is.
All right.
Where's my Steve? Is Mel there?
Where are you? You usually sit here, don't you? Because last time I was here, Tim sat here. So I told Mel that he should sit here. So
They've got.
I mean, I don't care.
yeah, there's nobody sitting there.
Okay, that'd be me then.
Seal.
I thought last time Tim was down here.
And all the walls are always
Yeah, I heard them talking about during that day.
all
Hi.
When I walked in,
Yeah, I heard them talking about that that day.
3 portions of meat. This 3 4
well, it's not what I thought you wanted.
and moved the line from here to here. Made it 6.
Well, hey, that'll be neat. You guys have a name for it?
We just keep going.
I don't.
Yes, it is.
So they no longer exist anywhere.
Not.
Can I trade you?
Yeah. I don't really need, but, yeah, now, they won't exist once we run this through this board and council. But
But that still doesn't mean you go
That has-
proceed with our lien.
Has no bearing on that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I need to pick some up. I really do. I need to get a couple.
Couldn't get a license.
You know, I didn't know anything about that, and someone told me that. I was out on the golf course one day and picked up a couple, you know. I was surprised. I thought, oh man, this has got to be an old wives' tale. I did.
Reapply. Yeah, you gotta reapply. Well, you know, lucky for him that it's in that.
I'm telling you what, I get so sick of
You know, there's no
cobwebs and
cap.
spiders.
Going through the whole
Unbelievable.
application process of paying.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding around.
I hope so.
You know,
I just kidding around.
like I already was gonna do the jazz.
I was gonna check my email, but
I remember she wasn't here that day. She didn't know what was going on. So she said, "Did I hear that right?"
hear that.
What? I thought you said.
The other day,
Hey, Jane, it's time.
the other day, Joanne says, oh, there's a cricket in the garage. I lost that part of my hearing. I can't hear crickets anymore. I said, see, there's some benefits in not being able to hear.
No problem, I don't need to sit down. Not until 6 o'clock.
It's 7 by that clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
We will call to order the Lawrenceburg Advisory Plan Commission meeting on November the 5th. May I have roll call, please?
Jane Pope,
Present.
Mike Lawrence is absent. Dennis Folke,
Present.
Paul Seymour,
Present.
Mel Davis,
Here.
Jim Crook,
Here.
Aaron Cook,
Here.
Joe Johns,
Present.
and myself.
Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? And if so, may I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion carries. Staff report, Mr. Clark.
Nothing in addition to what's in the packet.
Okay, new business, the Zion Church.
I'm Larry Campbell, the pastor of Zion Church, and if you've looked at your packets, we're just requesting the planning board to go ahead along with us as we want to put a new sign up in front of the church. We've been doing some improvements to the church. We had to replace those old doors, and the sign there now is about 50 years old. We sort of went back and looked and found out. And it's got the old plastic letters that the sun hits it, they keep belting and falling out. The black is peeling off. And just to make it look nicer and also allow us to put more information out, we'd like to, petition the board for this exact same size of a digital sign to put in front of the church in the very same spot. If you've got your pictures there, the very same spot where the existing sign is at.
It will be a reader board?
It'd be real similar, it'll be smaller, but real similar to the one that's over at the community center that you see when you come down the road. It won't be the one with the very expensive one like the LCD where it looks like a TV. It's just going to be a sign board where it'll post our name, the different activities we have. We have a youth group up there now on Tuesday nights. Just information like that.
And I might have missed this. Did you say the location would be the same, or you'd move it? Or?
No, it'd be the exact word. There's a picture in there of the old sign from what you see from the road and up close. It'd be in that same spot. And it's just about, it's the same width. It's about 2 inches shorter, in height. It's about 2 inches difference. It's the same hookup, 110. There's some specs there on it, it's just a regular 110 voltage. We already have electric out there that runs the lights to the existing sign, so none of that won't have to be changed out or anything.
It's gonna be difficult to read from the street.
Hmm?
It's gonna be difficult to read from the street.
Yeah, well, the other
I never
one,
even knew that sign existed till I
Yeah.
seen this picture.
especially during the day, but during the night when there's not near as many cars there, it's pretty visible. And we're not putting it there we're just trying to get information out and just make the front of the church look a little nicer, a little better. That sign's just really getting in bad. We don't want to repair it. We can't even find the pieces to repair it. So we're going to do something with it, and it's going to make the church look better and in the whole area.
Any comments or questions from the board?
I just have one question for Mike. Is this building classified as historic, that we would have to go in front of the historic board? Or, because it is changing the facade of the building, or would this just be enough?
You know what, I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna assume that it very well may be. And I'll verify that, and I'll get with Larry to let him know, because from the BZA hearing to the next historic meeting's only like a week. So, but I'll verify that. And
Okay.
Anyone else? Do I have a recommendation?
Make a motion, we forward this to the BZA with a favorable recommendation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman, I have to abstain.
We'll take a roll call vote,
I
Mike.
attend.
Okay. Jane Pope, well, you don't vote on this, Jane, I'm sorry. Dennis Folke,
Yay.
Paul Seymour,
Yay.
Mel Davis abstains, Jim Crook,
Yay.
Aaron Cook.
Yay.
Okay, we have 4-0.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Larry, early next week, we'll have a new notice, so we'll do that. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Quality fire protection.
My name's Mike Hall, I'm the land surveyor on the project. You have a site plan there. This is lot number 11 in the business park on Industrial Drive. We're asking for a secondary gravel parking lot. Is there any question?
Site plan approval and requesting a variance
Right,
on the hard surface.
on the hard surface, sorry. The main parking is blacktop. It's just the area behind the building, and on the side of the buildings, it'll be gravel. But the main parking area is paved. It's just the additional area.
You don't know how big that gravel area will be, just in an estimate? How many square yards or feet or what?
Just a second.
And while you're looking to find that,
Mm-hmm.
the gravel area will remain the same off to the side, and you said the front would be changed to paving?
Yes, the front will be paved. So there'll be your driveway, which is 24 feet, 19 feet of parking spaces, and then a 5-foot walk in front of the building. It's going to be probably all told, Paul, when we go around the outside edge and back to the berm, you're going to have about a third of an acre that's going to be gravel. Because it falls off. I have to get the berm so it protects, we don't have water flowing over the hill and it directs it back to the back. So the gravel will help slow it down. But they're going to have fill dirt come in to fill the hole that's there now. Because this was a dumping site for Seagrams or Shenley's in the city. So we're going to level that out with earthwork that's going to be coming from the veterinarian facility that's going over by Shipping Street. And we'll import around 1,500 yards to that area to lay it out. Then once we have that, then we can, then we'll gravel it according to what area we have to use.
That's not I'm not looking at a retaining wall in the back?
No, that's a berm. That's a gravel berm to keep the water from going straight over the hillside. And it'll be routed down to that catch basin that's down at the bottom.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
The only comment I'd like to make is, we looked at this, doing some of the site plan review, and in that area, the hard surface pavement could possibly create some issues with erosion, so I do support the request for gravel at that location.
Slow down the runoff.
Yes. Plus the fact that part of it is over the sewer line that goes through there. So if it, I mean, God forbid we'd ever have to dig it up, but it is that area, that one spot the sewer does run through there, the sanitary line. Which is how we position the building to keep it inside the sewer easement and the sewer line.
So there will be gravel beyond the paved area that will protect the runoff? Is that?
Yes,
say that?
where it says gravel, if you look to say you see gravel and gravel area, that's the areas that'll be gravelled. Right now, it's a mixture of gravel and dirt, so we'll level that out, build a building pad, and in that area there, between that berm, where it says 2-foot high gravel berm, between the berm and the building, will be gravelled.
What's the floodplain elevation in that area?
488.5.
488.
Any more questions or comments? Motion?
Moved. Make a motion, we approve it and send it along with a favorable recommendation.
Can we do this in
Two pieces.
two separate? First do the site plan approval and then do the forwarding?
Now you want to change your motion to site approval?
And for Mike's comments.
Second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, second motion.
That's to forward the request on to BZA.
Make a
Continue.
motion, we approve it, send it forward.
Motion by Mel Davis, second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mel,
Thank
is
you,
that
Board.
favorable or?
Yes.
Favorable, okay.
Thank you.
Waterview Commerce Park subdivision.
Replat?
Yes, the replat.
Once again, my name's Michael Hall. I'm the surveyor on this. What we are trying to do is replat lots 3 and 4 of the original subdivision of Waterview Commerce Park into 2 new lots, which is 7 and 6. The purpose of the replat is that when we had done the original plat, though the ownership was common, the mortgage was not. So U.S. Savings Bank has requested us to replat Lot 6, which is the area that they have the mortgage on. The remaining mortgage, which would be Lot 7, is held by the city of Lawrenceburg. So this boundary line that we've come up with delineates that line, which is the lot between 7 and 6.
I'd just like to make a statement that this is a necessary replat. It actually cleans the title up in case there are any future actions taken. It draws a hard line and makes everything clean if we do this.
Yeah. It's all common ownership, but that's the problem, is that the mortgage is held by 2 different entities, the city being one and U.S. Savings Bank being the other. With this replat, U.S. Savings Bank would hold a mortgage on Lot 6, and the city would hold a mortgage on Lot 7, without any other title in it, problems.
Actually, we hold a lien against lot 6 too, right, Mike?
No,
No,
Not whatsoever?
none
No.
whatsoever.
that was a
Not on the
separate,
proposed Lot 6, no, we do not.
right. It was a separate purchase, Madam Chairman, because that was owned by U.S. Bank originally, and they bought that as an addition to the Ellis property, which is
So they bought it directly from US Bank.
correct. And the city holds the mortgage on what was the Ellis property.
Questions or comments from the board?
Question,
Yes?
on Berry Drive,
Yes?
is that proposed to continue back down to Florence, Mike?
It will if it ever gets built. It was around there, there's an easement out to Florence Drive to save that area, but we didn't dedicate it. It's only dedicated as far as the cul-de-sac that's shown. There is a dedicated piece on Florence Drive where it comes into it at, but the dash line between 7 and 5, I'm sorry, over to the ball is just utility easement and ingress and egress. It's not been dedicated to the city yet.
But that is proposed if it develops.
Correct.
A question from the attorney.
Yes?
Has anything been built on 6 and 7?
No, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I was answering him. I apologize.
So there's no structures on the,
No, the only structures that are out there right now is on Lot 2, which is the apartment site.
Mike, any more comments or comments from the board? Paul?
None.
Dennis?
I have none.
How about the audience? I see people in the audience. Do we need to have any comments from them? Okay, motion?
And the motion will need to be to certify this and forward it on to Common Council.
I'll so moved on what Mike just said. Make it pretty simple.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the second part. Waterview Apartments.
For the third and last time, Michael S. Hall, land surveyor. This need arose from when we originally did the plat. We were under the impression that you only needed a 50-foot side yard. And both Michael and I missed the part that you had to add 25%, so it should be a 75-foot side yard, which we can do on the east line, west line, and north line. We need a variance for the south line where the buildings were built closer than that, and that's where I need a variance at, is on the bottom. There is a 50-foot utility and ingress easement to the south of that line that gets us within 2.1 feet of being the 75 feet. So, but the variance that we're asking for is because we're 22.9 from the property line. But we do have enough, we have area there that is beyond to the south of that line. But our variance would be for the variance for 22.9 feet is the closest building. The other one is at 54.4 feet.
And that covers 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Just lot number 2.
Just lot number 2, yes.
And this was actually brought about by a title company that pulled it up, and there was an approved plan, and then we came back. They requested to make a change in the roadway at the apartment complex. I think they shifted one building a little bit.
Shifted one building, yes.
That's where internally we did not catch the shortfall on it. It's not enough to create any issues, but this will clean up the title for the new owners of that property.
New owners to be?
No, new owners right now.
New owners.
That's been purchased?
Well, it belongs to Waterview Limited Partnership. They're based out of Rockville, Illinois.
When was that done? You on that?
Let me see. No, I don't, but it was this year, I believe.
14?
I think it was early in the year though, wasn't it, Mike?
It was early in the year, yes.
Is that what we agreed on when we, about the sale of that? Some of the money should go and shouldn't go?
That's totally separate, Jane. Yeah, that's totally separate. It's privately owned. That's.
Yeah, the former owners are no longer there or in control of it.
Who were the former owners?
Bischoff and Lakemar, it was Lakemar Development, but it's no longer under that. And it's been, the property to the south is...
We had that was no more concern.
No, that was already an approved development. I'm not sure how the transfer came about.
I don't either,
I know
it was a partnership thing.
We have new owners now.
On that south side of the building, is there parking in front of the building there? Does that parking extend closer to that?
No, the parking area is actually due north of it.
The parking area is north of the building.
Correct.
So that's the back of the building that backs up to that line?
It's the side of the building that goes against that
Of the
line.
building?
Yeah. The rear is to the high wall, and then the parking lot's to the
There's a
north.
grass area then between that building and the property line?
Yes. Right now, it's not grass, but the new owners are getting ready to hire a contractor to take care of that.
Grass in
Yes.
that area, and not asphalt or parking or...
Correct. It will not be parking or asphalt.
Well, the buildings are already there.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we grant that variance.
So we'll have to forward it on to the BZA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, That'll be next time. Yeah, I'll make a motion to forward that on to the BZA. Yeah, favorable.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Open the floor to the public, if the public would like to speak at this time.
Hi, my name's Nick Ross. I just have a question on that last issue with the apartment buildings. Well, the north side is the parking lot side, is that what he was saying? So no dirt will be moved towards the creek if there's a variance?
The variance is here. This is the
There's
high
no
wall.
work associated with this variance request.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now, they do have work trying to complete and clean up,
Oh, is that what's going on?
but that's not part of this.
Oh, okay, so this is the.
That's the
this is set.
issue, yes.
Okay, where that big wall,
Big
big high wall
big
comes in here and
wall's
the slope here.
Right, and this is a high wall as well here.
Okay, that's where that tree lines up in here.
Yes,
All right, so you're not moving dirt, you're not disturbing ground, you're just looking for a variance change at this time?
yeah, we just need this so that it's within code for where the building actually
Okay.
sits.
All right, I don't understand all the lingo, and I want to make sure when we're
No,
talking
that's
about
fine.
variances and everything else. Okay, no problem, that's all.
I do have one comment, and Terry, I want to make sure you understand this too. Because of their initial permitting, it's my understanding that they are under contract with AEP to remove dirt or to haul dirt to AEP so they can stockpile it for their closure next year. Now, that is currently permitted. The one thing about it, the more dirt they move, the more it's gonna help the situation out to get rid of that high wall behind the apartments. So hopefully they can bring that down, divert the waters to make things work much better than what they do now. Absolutely.
Terry Heath, I've got two questions, actually. I talked to Steve today, Linkmar. He's in trouble with AEP over the amount of dirt that was moved or is to be moved, and there seems to be some discrepancy with the people that own the apartments, how much dirt is coming off of there. He told me they was requiring 80,000 cubic yards of dirt. And he told me he done took 60,000 off, or 600,000 off of there. So there seems to be some discrepancy in there with Linkmar.
Those numbers are not correct.
They're not right.
I don't know what AEP has contracted with them
250.
for,
250,000 is
but I know, Mike, you might be able to answer it better than me, but I know he's nowhere near the 600,000, I don't believe.
Okay. Well, I know Mr. Linkmar, and he's been known to make a mistake or two, so it's fine. That detention pond down there at the bottom of the hill for all that stuff, I had an engineer in there from the state of Indiana 2 years ago that told me there was an excessive amount of silt coming off of that work area, and the pond was going to have 4 foot added to the dam, and the discharge pipe would have to be raised and the spillway to make that a actual detention system for that complex back there. It's not retaining no water right now. It's going over the dam. There's no spillway whatsoever there. It's gone. We're taking them, I've got 300 yards of that creek on my property. And there is, I'm taking a tremendous amount of silt in there. I had to then clean it out once. When are they going to go ahead and raise that dam? That lake's half full of silt already.
Yeah, Terry, I know we talked today, you've got a very valid question, but it is in the appropriate hands that has the enforcement, which is IDNR and IDEM, and they might be able to give you a better answer than what we can, but it is in enforcement currently. I know we've met with them. They're aware that they need to do it.
Well,
You know,
it's been 2 years. I mean,
yes,
I understand the
I
state's quite
understand,
slow.
and I appreciate your patience.
Yeah.
It's just, that right there is in the hands of IDEM right now. It's above the city of Lawrenceburg.
Okay, and you have no idea when they're gonna do that, or who's in charge of that as far as who's gonna have to build that dam up and stuff? Is that Link Bar Incorporated, or?
No. What, Terry?
Can you come to the microphone and answer that?
It will not be like mine. It will be a new contractor that the new owners are building, and they're actually not going to raise the dam. They're going to lower the water level in there and put their outlet structure that should have been put in when the pond was built. And so the water will go down so that the freeboard comes up on the pond, is what they're going to do. We were in a conference call today. They're hoping to start and finish that in December, depending on what the weather does, because they've waited so far back in the construction feeling. But the contractor today said that they want to start on getting that pond where it's supposed to be in December. And the new owners are pushing to get as much work completed this year, because next year they get a different bank or something, which is not my business, but they want as much of the work done this year as can be done.
What are they gonna do with the spillway?
They're going to dig that out and redo that all the way up to there, and then it gets a new outlet structure, which is a concrete chamber and pipe that comes down through there, so it controls. And so that's what they're doing, and the channel gets redone, the rock, they're going to either break the rock or move the rock that he's got in there right now and turn that into a riprap channel with rock check dams and grout it in down through there. So it'll go back to where it was supposed to be when it started.
What are they gonna do with the silt that's already in the pond?
They'll take out as much as what they can dip out, but it'll go down.
Okay.
But it's the same thing, we have to be able to get it out and move it. We went past construction season, so it is supposed to be completed by end of April or 1st of June next year, depending on what the weather does. But they're going to ongoingly work on it from now until they can get it complete.
Okay, is a department, a DNR gonna supervise that?
Yes, Dan Perez is the guy from DNR that's going to work on it.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not local anymore, it's out of Jennifer Hughes' hands, it's up to Dan Perez at the state.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Politics, I understand, you're
Yeah.
right. I appreciate your time.
Jennifer was going nuts, so it wasn't Jennifer's fault. It went to the state for a reason.
All right,
So-
I'm trying to keep up with it because
Yep.
things slide by real easy. And it gets lost if you don't talk about it.
No,
So
that's no problem.
I appreciate you people's time, thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Holt, the
Yes.
new ownership,
Yes,
the name of the new ownership, is it the same as?
it's Waterview.
It's on that variance application, I believe.
It's Waterview Limited Partnership.
And the
And
address
they're
is
gonna be
there.
responsible to take care of that.
Yes, they are the owners. It's their, we've had a notice of termination between Lankmeyer and them, so that Lankmeyer is not even on the paperwork for the Department of Natural Resources anymore. It's been transferred at the state level to, they're the ones responsible for it now. So the NOT has been filed.
Any more questions or comments from the audience? Mike, any more you'd like to say about it?
No, I think everything's been covered for as much information that we actually have.
That at this time, all that's taken away from the city, it's the state that needs to.
Yeah, it's way above us. In fact, it has been for quite a while.
Motion for adjournment,
Moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to thank the public for coming.